guys, welcome back.
Hey guys, welcome back. I am Mel.
I'm Ton, and together we make Random Heart Structured. Okay, guys, we're going to get right into this topic of the day being, is there such thing as the perfect relationship?
Is there a perfect relationship?
Yeah, is there? Before we get into that, though, just quickly, can we get you guys to like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe?
Also,
make sure you hit your post notification button so that you don't miss any new and upcoming uploads or videos.
All right, guys. So we have yet to discuss any of this topic with each other. So I have no idea what she's going to say.
None.
And she has no idea what I'm going to say. All right. All right. So how we plan to start this is basically to write whether we even think in the order of yes or no, just simple, black and white, what we think individually about that topic, about that question, you know? So, question being,
is there a such thing, or can there be a perfect relationship? And you go first, since you all cute and everything, but you really do.
Yeah, tell me about it.
That's cute.
Y'all, don't judge me, okay? All right. So I've already written on my index card, and so has she.
Yes.
And again, neither one of us has seen one another's answer or any of the such. So
better be the same. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. So I'm gonna show you guys mine, and then behind me she'll show y'all hers. Okay.
You gonna do it together, or are you gonna go up and then I go up? Which way? How you gonna do it?
You know what? Let's just do it together.
Let's just do it together.
Let's turn it over.
We should have wrote it backwards.
I know, right?
That's cool though. So yes, we both think yes. So let's get into
there is a such thing as the perfect relationship, and we're gonna go into detail and explain why we feel that. Let me tell y'all the way I process and the way I had to do this. This topic brought up a lot of thoughts for me. So many that I had to write what I thought down. So excuse me if I start looking at a piece of paper or y'all hear paper rambling, whatever. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going through my notes as far as what I have processed.
Yeah, because you don't want to miss anything. Something might be important. Sometimes we be thinking stuff when we talk and we missed all those points that are very important and needing to be shared.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, mutually, we do think that there's a possibility, more than a possibility, in fact, of the perfect relationship. Why? So, in my opinion, what sets a relationship up for perfection is commitment to never give up. Simply, commitment to never give up on your relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, before I actually go into details of that, why did you say yes? That you thought that there was one?
I had a couple of reasons. I like that one. That one I definitely agree with. I hadn't listed it, but I agree with it. But I said yes because perfection is, in my opinion, in relationship is that thing that works for you. And it's not a specific state of being. It's not measured on a perfectometer.
Right.
Perfectometer.
Right.
You know.
I got you.
So yes, and I'll explain that more as I'm speaking.
Okay, so what I've jotted down to just connect with what I just said before is that basically this is a process developed through the structures of communication, understanding, patience, and respect. It's about a balance, guys. I mean, balance will always be defined by team effort. Team being you and the other person.
Right.
And so with that being said, the communication, understanding, patience, and respect are factors that are vital to the success of your relationship. They are the main priorities that develop the bond of two individuals. These things, because they pour off into like every aspect of the relationship. You agree?
I do.
Okay, so some people feel as though arguing and disagreements actually define a level of happiness within your relationship, when it's quite the contrary. And I know you like, what?
No, I'm not. I'm agreeing with that because, a lot of times people the thing is, when you're in a relationship, you can't, although we are very emotional, you can't really get caught up in those emotions or those things that come after a certain emotion. Right. You know what I'm saying? People are going to argue. Yeah. But there's a way to argue.
Absolutely. A healthy way.
There's a healthy way to argue. I mean, it may not start out healthy, but when you understand that things are going left, you have to be selfless enough to say, hey, let's bring this in. Let's try to talk about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let's respect each other enough to hear each other out and see, well, what's going on with you? Well, why do you feel that way? Well, what's going on with you? And let's try to find some common ground. You know, arguing can be healthy. Sometimes unless you argue, you don't really know what the other person is feeling. You may be thinking that they feeling what you feeling, and they may be thinking that you don't care a bit, you know? Yeah. But when you begin to communication, healthy communication should come out of arguing. It shouldn't be that we going at it and we going to stay at it till we get done and the house going to be broke down when we finish. And, you know, we're going to be angry. But when you realize that it's turning into something that's heated, then you should, hey, you know, take it back some. Let your pride go. Take it back some and begin to really communicate about the issue that is really underlying what's going on and get an understanding.
I mean, basically, like what I jotted down, it's about how you argue over whether you argue. Yeah. It's about understanding and learning something from and about the other partner's mental processing over the point of the disagreement. Exactly. There's, like you said, there's a healthy way to argue. I definitely agree with that. To do both these things, it takes respect. You have to respect not just the person, but their processing, their mind, their thoughts, their feelings even. Right. Because you don't want them to feel invalid. Right. You know? Especially, I mean, if you love them, you know, at the end of the day, this is not your enemy. This is your partner. Remember I said teamwork. Yeah. You know, that's two people basically working in the body of one. You can't have the arms working against the leg. Exactly. You know, that's a dysfunctional body.
And that's even something that we've actually experienced, because I know for myself, I'm not so argumentative, but I listen to what a person says, and depending on how I'm feeling, if I'm in my feelings, I'm going to take it for just as what they said it. So I may become a little bit I may become a little bit defensive, but I have to, and I'm still learning. I mean, that's part of perfection too, learning and growing. Exactly. You have to let your pride go sometimes and just shut up and listen, and don't be so surface about what you're hearing, but really try to get an understanding for what that person is saying. And when you do that, you'll realize, hey, they're not the enemy. Exactly. There's just something that we need to get an understanding on.
Well, yeah. I mean, that and other factors, but yes, definitely. I mean, basically, when two people are arguing in a relationship, first of all, that's energy that you're exerting, you know, and it's, however twisted it may sound, not so much to me, but to someone, I'm sure, however twisted it might sound, arguing is actually an opportunity for you to learn about the other person, and from the other person, a whole different aspect of something regarding the matter. You know what I'm saying? It gives you a chance to be that listener, to actually hone in on what's important. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And it's not about agreeing or disagreeing, because you can still disagree, but it allows you within the communication of the argument or the disagreement to understand where their standpoint is. So you can not so much deal with them, but you can operate accordingly. You can be functional, you know, because you understand, well, this person feels this way, although I feel this way, you know, but you can understand somebody's perspective of something without totally agreeing with them. It's about understanding. It's about the respect.
I was just going to say, when you understand that, you're able to respect what it is they're saying and not take offense to it. You're able to, hey, this is how they feel. And everybody's feelings are valid, even if they're not the same feelings that you have. Exactly. And that's something I think that people in relationship, people in general, you know, it's easy to like invalidate somebody else's stuff when it doesn't agree with how you feel right then or what you might be thinking. But like I said, you have to kind of step back some and respect the fact that that person is having a different thought process or understands something differently or that means something different to them. Yeah. And give them value. Don't remove someone's value. That's one of the things that hurt any relationship.
Yeah.
Don't remove somebody's value just because you may not agree.
Right. Right. And you may come to find once you put that conscious effort of understanding out there that they actually made sense.
Yeah.
And it may not be so far-fetched from where you are as far as your standpoint with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you can't, in a relationship, you can't have just tunnel vision.
Right.
You know, you're going to compromise, you're going to sacrifice. And you do that even in your thought process. And sometimes, and that's not so much to devalue yourself or even devalue the other person, but to gain a proper perspective of things holistically,
Right.
I mean. So
To grow, it's growth. It's growing in how you understand. It's always more than one way to skin a cat, you know. But
the ending, I always tell Mel, you know, because we have experienced this, we wouldn't be talking about it had we not, you know, been through this.
Don't talk about nothing I don't know about, because if she'd tell you, if I don't know, I just be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
People be like, you ain't, that's all you gonna say? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But I would tell her, I almost forgot what I was going to say. But I would tell her, you know, you can't be so tunnel vision that you actually just only see your point of view. You have to be in somebody else's shoes, because so much comes with that, you know. Things come from people's past, their childhood, just history. So much goes into a person's processing and understanding for why something should be or shouldn't be the way that it is. All these things are the makeup of us, you know. So understand that arguing actually, if you look at it from a positive standpoint, actually grants the opportunity for you to learn of the other person, you know, and gain a perspective for how they see things. Therefore, you can have a respect or gain a respect for them as a person. You know, you're together, that arm and that leg. You're together in one body, but you're doing two separate things. Arms don't do what legs do.
Right.
Legs don't do what arms do.
Right.
You know, so you respect one another's position. You respect one another's mind. You know what I'm saying? So that you can function and stay on the same page and be in sync. All these things, you know, render to the bond and your foundation. So it's important. So what else? I just want to kind of sit back here. I got to get back on point.
You were on point. We're flowing in the right direction.
So let's see.
What about being expressive? Because sometimes people think that the way you express something means I don't respect you, or the way you express something means this and means that. But
well, okay. So it doesn't mean that just because you're expressive or you're passionate about something that because those things may come out such a way, you know, offensive and cause the person to be defensive.
Yes.
And that plays on how you're going to perceive the information that is being communicated to you. You know what I'm saying?
And how you're going to receive that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have to, it's about the mindset that you have in the process of arguing or having a disagreement or anything like that. Because if you're going to look at it negatively, then
something negative will always come out.
Yeah, it's that's what's going to exude. That's what's going to show its ugly face.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of capture a positive from it and kind of recenter or reevaluate, you know, not so much of the situation, but what needs to happen. It's at the end of the day, it's about result. It's about result, and that's in every part of a relationship. You can be different. You can be compatible all day, but when those differences come about, if it's not the ending result being something that is of a solution, you know, and you're able to have a middle ground with that, in that point or in that face of things, yeah, you may feel like, okay, there is no such thing as a perfect relationship because we can't seem to get this together. You have to focus on what works in your relationship. You have to always stay focused on what worked and what doesn't, so you know what to remove, what to keep. It keeps you moving in the same direction. And sometimes you have to reevaluate together, you know, where you are in that relationship. Your what am I trying to say? Your vision for your relationship.
Right.
You know, you got to have the same vision. You know, you can't be working in different directions.
Right.
You have to keep moving the same. And sometimes you have to recollect. Sometimes you have to reassure. Sometimes you have to just come back to the front of things and, you know, say, hey, babe, you know, I know yesterday we, you know, had a bit of an argument, disagreement, or what have you. I just want to, you know, blah, 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 or whatever. But communication is everything. The way you receive that person is everything, you know?
I think that goes back into as well, like I said, perfection is not measured on a perfectometer. You know what I'm saying? For me, perfection is not a state, a single state. Like, I got this notch, this notch, this notch, this notch, and now we're perfect. Perfection is ongoing. Think about it. At the end of the day, nobody is perfect, but we strive towards perfection. So it's the same thing in a relationship. You're at measures of perfection. In a positive relationship, you're at measures of perfection all the time, but you continue to grow, you continue to learn, and that's what makes it even more and more and more and more awesome, more great, more perfect. That's what brings it together and tightly. Even the more we wonder how, like, people be married for 75 years, they ain't never, they done went through some stuff, but they didn't give up, and they continue to grow. And as you're growing, wherever you're at in your relationship at that point, you're perfecting that. If you're doing it right, you're perfecting that. So when you say, you know, is there a such thing as a perfect relationship? Yeah. If it's working for you, both. If it's serving you, both. If both of you are able to grow together, be productive in it, that's perfect. I mean, what else would you want? Yeah,
you have to realize what's beneficial. You have to realize what's toxic to your relationship, and you have to rid of those toxic things. That's why I said you have to stay focused on you want to stay focused on why you love that person.
Exactly.
Why you fell in love with that person. You want to focus on that. You want to focus on the communication, the respect, the patience, the, what else did I say?
Commitment.
The commitment.
Not
of it
giving
all.
up.
You know, that's what makes it real. That's what makes it workable. That's what keeps it functional properly.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to throw chaos and negativity in those spaces.
You said something that was, I hadn't really ever thought about it this way. But you said something, you have to remember why you fell in love with that person. But guess what? You also have to remember why that person fell in love with you.
And that takes communication, because you got to know why they even fell in love with you without the assumption. You can't be like, oh, she probably loved me, or oh, he probably loved me because of this. That communication, all that. You got to know those things. You got to know those things like, babe, what's your favorite color? When you're getting to know somebody, you're going to always be getting to know even the person that you're with, because you guys are going to grow. That's why I said you have to revisit sometimes that vision, because your vision can change for your relationship, because y'all have grown. Y'all are not the people that y'all were, or your mind is not where it was
when you first met
3 years ago, or 5 years ago. You know, so you have to revisit and come back together and say, hey, you know, this is how I'm feeling, and hey, I want to know how you feel, because theirs is just as important as yours. Make your relationship a priority first and foremost.